Hi guys, my name is Annabelle from Horizon Cosplay and welcome to the 12 Days of Cosplay Christmas. This year's Cosplay Christmas is Hobbit themed, and to celebrate the Hobbit themed we are making a dish for every Hobbit meal that there is. Yes, that is a lot of dishes. I have been eating very well the last few days, but today's dish, guys, we are doing supper, and for supper we are waking, it's not what I was trying to say, we are making Miss Maggots Cottage pie, not containing maggots, it's just the Hobbit lady who made it. Don't even worry about it. If you're not a Lord of the Rings fan, you probably won't get it. But if you are, the Hobbit meal plan that we are using for our 12 Days Cosplay Christmas will be linked down below, as well as the recipe for Miss Maggots Cottage Pie if you want to check them out and make them as well. I would highly recommend trying every one of the dishes that we are making because nearly all of them have come out perfect. And with that, guys, I have some friends coming over for dinner tonight, and so I suppose I better get cooking because for once, Ben's at work, which means I'm in charge of the kitchen. Ooh. So, to make Miss Maggots Cottage Pie, you need ingredients. And for the ingredients today, I'm not going to do any too fancy editing, so let's just get started. An onion. I am supposed to be using a brown onion, but I've got to be honest, I prefer red onions, so I'm using a red onion because preference, I'm allowed to have personal preference, it's the thing. You need some carrots. I like my cottage pies to be fairly vegetable heavy, so I'm going to use a lot of carrots, and as well as carrots, I'm also going to add these parsnips into the mix because, to be quite frank, they really need using, and I like parsnips. You also need some potatoes, and as well as normal potatoes. I'm also using sweet potatoes because who doesn't love a sweet potato? Like, they're just awesome. You're then going to need some butter, some beef stock cubes, some milk. I have another jug in case one runs out, so don't worry too much. Some flour, and last but not least, some good old salt and pepper. And with that, I say let's begin preparations. I started by peeling my onions and parsnips before chopping them up. I then peeled my onions only to find 2 baby onions inside it, so I cut them up too, an act upsetting enough to make me cry. Literally, they were onions, it was hurting my eyes. Then it was over to the stove. Here I started to fry my onions, carrots and parsnips, and yes, in a wok because Ben hadn't done the washing up yet and I wanted to start cooking. I sautéed it for several minutes before adding the beef, which was admittedly rather more frozen than I intended, so I had to wait for that to get broken up before putting in the flour and giving it a stir. While the beef was browning, I boiled the kettle and made up half a cup of beef stock. This got poured over everything in the wok and left to simmer while I prepped the potatoes. Once they were all peeled and chopped, I put them onto the stove to boil. From there, it was a waiting game until they were done. But once they were done, it was time to give it a mash. And no, I don't own a potato masher, so I used a fork instead, and threw in some mixed herbs for good measure, something that I highly recommend you do with any mashed potato. I then put the meat and vegetable mix into our dish before covering it with a potato, and then it went into the oven for a good half hour. And this is how it turned out. Well, after we'd actually eaten it anyway. So, a little bit of story with this one. I might have eaten most of it without filming any of the eating or what it actually looked like when it first came out of the oven. However, what I can say is that I just had friends round and there were 4 empty plates because, guys, this was really, really good. Now, I 110% recommend that you add some mixed herbs and a sweet potato to the mashed potato. It was buttery, creamy, a little bit lumpy because I didn't mash it properly, but it tasted freaking amazing. The parsnips were utterly gorgeous. The meat was cooked to perfection. It was juicy and moist and just everything went together perfectly, and this is definitely going on my to make in the future list because you know what, Miss Maggot, you make a damn good cottage pie, and thank you very much for sharing the recipe with us. Well guys, that is it for today. If you enjoyed this video, do please hit that like button to let us know, and remember to subscribe for the other 12 Days Cosplay Christmas content that will be coming up. I am really enjoying having you all here for this. I know that this year is a lot of cooking, but there is some sewing too, and hopefully next year will be a bit more varied. I'm looking for ideas, so please let me know if you have any, and otherwise I will see you next time. Have a beautiful day and a wonderful festive season. Bye!